Hey guys, it's KELLS back at it again with another video, another Friday night live. You know the deal. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Let me know where you are watching from and what you are sipping on. I was sitting here singing Usher, 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top, cruising the street. I'm singing that to myself late, singing that, thinking about that, and it's a whole 7:10. It's a whole 7:10. I see DB popped in to show some love, but had to peace out. I appreciate you showing some love. Let me know if you guys can see me or can hear me. Is everything looking good tonight? Let me see if the broadcast is coming in good. Yes, the broadcast looks like, yeah, it looks like it's coming in good. And I see Anna in the building. Anna G in the building. Friday, baby. Friday. I appreciate you, sis, for being here so much. Yeah, tonight I did not change the subject line on tonight's live, but I do know what we're talking about tonight, and it is because you guys made the selection tonight. So we are gonna go with what the #1 vote was on YouTube tonight, and we're gonna do the reveal. You know what I mean? We're gonna do the topic reveal right as we get in. But before we do that, let's do our cheers. Our cheers tonight. We're cheersing to love. We're cheersing to the summer being turned. We're cheersing to fun times, easy breezy. That's what we're cheersing to today. All right. So cheers. Clink, 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 clink. Tonight I'm just sipping on some lemon water, lubricating the throat chakra, keeping the throat chakra lubricated, as we do. You guys know the deal. Come on in. Let me know where you're watching from, what you are sipping on, and smash that like button as you come in. Would so appreciate the love. Yeah. Yes. Water tonight. I'm actually hungry, guys. Like, I'm super starved. I forgot to coordinate the food and make the food, but whatever. We'll have to eat after we go live. Seeing 222 on the clock, and yeah. So if you're into numbers, I see Ferd in the building. Hey Ferd, thanks for being here. So I did ask you guys if you guys wanted to change the time, if you wanted to go live earlier, or what you wanted to do. Oh, let me scoot over this way. But you guys, most of y'all said keep it at 7 o'clock. So we're here 7 o'clock, and if you're watching us live, all love. If you're watching us on the replay, gang, still the same love. Drop this emoji in the chat and let me know you're watching us on replay, gang, because replay gang is strong around here. You know what I mean? The gems is heavy around here. So whichever way you're catching us, be sure to engage the content, engage the channel. It's a free and easy way to support, right? Okay, so enough with the formalities. Let's look at the topic reveal. How are y'all feeling? I see Anna giving me clinks in the chat, coming in looking clear. Thank you, boo. Coming in clear and looking beautiful, sis. Thank you, honey. This is a new top. This is a new top for summer. I was like, all right, let's turn the closet over and let's do some summer colors and some summer looks. So that's what we're giving tonight. Yeah. Okay. So, oh, my angles are a little bit different tonight. So forgive me if I'm looking all over the place. I'm hoping I'm looking at the right place, which seems to be like right there. Yes. Okay. So, hey, Ferd in the building, per the usual. Security guard, police officer, keeping us safe around these parts. Greetings, Ferd. And we're getting clinks from Anna G in the building. You know what I mean? Looking like a scoop of orange sorbet. Orange sorbet. I'm here for it, sis. You know what I mean? I had to bring a little Florida orange to this Georgia peach situation we got going on around here. I had to remind them that I'm a Florida orange. Okay, we're not Georgia. It's not always Georgia peach. You know what I mean? It's not always Georgia peach. Yeah. Okay. So I hope you guys had a good Friday, a week. I feel like the weeks are still a little bit challenging if you're paying attention to the news. If you're not paying attention to the news, then maybe it's been a little bit of a quieter week, but I just don't know if we ever get quiet weeks around these parts. And by these parts, I mean the United States of America. So depending on what you've been paying attention to media-wise, it may or may not have been a quiet week for y'all. Let me know in the chat. Has it been quiet for you this week? How are you feeling this week? what's it feeling like, and we can get into things. I see JB in the building from Shanghai. I remember JB from way back in the day when I used to do my 7-day challenge and my 7-day dating challenge. I knew JB was always in the building around them times. So it's so good to see you back, sis. I appreciate you being here. I kind of want to change the subject line on the live. Is it going to let me do that? Because tonight we're talking about something particular. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can do it real quick. StreamYard. Let me see if I could do it. It might. Let me see if I could do it. How are y'all feeling this week? Has it been quiet this week, or what are you sensing? Are you happy? Is it TGI Friday, or what is it? What is it actually? Yeah. Mm. Okay, so I just changed the subject line. Y'all, let me know if you see the change in that. It may or may not change, refresh because you already have the window open, um, but I definitely changed the subject line. I'm seeing people from where are you guys coming in from? Houston, Franklin from Houston, Texas in the building. It's all about burnt orange. Hook 'em. Oh my God. JB says quiet news week, but busy work. Busy work and personal week. Busy work and personal week. I feel you, sis. How long have you been in Shanghai? I feel like is Shanghai it for you? I feel like you've probably been in Shanghai a decade. Is this it for you? That's where you're gonna be? That's your permanent location? Shanghai. I don't even know if you're originally from there, what the deal is. And then Ferd says, I was in a theater on Wednesday. By the grace of God, all went well. We'll send you details. Theater. Okay. What did you see at the theater? What did y'all see at the theater? Yeah. All right. Orange sorbet in the building. Okay. So, all right. All right, so we're done with the change in the subject of broadcast. Okay, so let's do what we always do, yeah? Marjorie, oh my God, catching you live. Finally, sis. Finally. You made it. You made it to a Friday night kickback. This is week 24. It's the consistency for me. This is week 24, consistent every single Friday, 7 p.m. I promised you guys that I would show my face. So here I go. If you've been catching us, if this is your first time or you've been catching us all the weeks, it's all love either way. If you're catching us on Replay Gang, this is your emoji to let us know Replay Gang is strong. And if you're here live, you get the special attention. All right. So, okay. So let's get into things. Clink, 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 clink. Cheers. Smash that like button if you're in the building and you want to support the channel. Free and easy way to do so. Yeah. And also make sure you're subscribed. Oh, JB says 3 years in Asia. Or 3 years in Shanghai. Love Asian culture though. DC is home. All right, sis. Nice. Okay. So let's get into the things. I don't know if I just changed the subject line on the video. So those of you who can see what the topic is for tonight. But if you came in early, you saw just kind of a generic title. But tonight, let's go to the topic reveal. And I have to be honest with you, it's different than what is revealed on Instagram. The decision was split tonight, so I went with what y'all voted for here on the community tab on YouTube. So the options for this week were how to grow your belief in what is possible for your life. And that came in at 50% on Instagram. So for that one, it was talking about increasing the capacity or your belief system or the container that you believe what you believe is possible for your life. So if you're trying to step up or go up or do something bigger in your life, but you're coming up with like maybe self-sabotaging behaviors, or you're just not able to take the steps that you know are necessary to get where you want to go, you may be battling with like your belief systems and not believing that you're like worthy or deserving or can hold on to that next level. So we were going to talk about how to grow your belief in what's possible for your life. That came in at 50% on IG. Number 2 option was how to manifest new love with a dating plan. On IG, that only came in at 12%. And quite as it's kept, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, because YouTube wanted to talk about that. So that's what we're going to be talking about. All right. And so we'll get into that in a little bit. The third option was Lori Harvey case study, why sis is winning big time. And y'all voted about that at 38%. I might talk about that a little bit. Since we're going to be getting into dating, I might drop some thoughts on why I believe Lori Harvey is winning and why people are hella uncomfortable with it. Lori got the boys shook. Quiet as it's kept, Lori got some of the girls shook too. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. But that was not the number one. That came in at 38%. That came in at 38%. Okay. And then the fourth option was how to stop overthinking. How to stop overthinking. That came in as a huge one for me this week. And I actually have written here on my desk, make it simple, make it easy. Easy is better. Because that was feedback that I have been getting from myself or from the people around me this week. And I realized that, you know, I feel like my creativity sometimes comes in as overthinking. And so I put that as an option because you guys know the topics during the week have to do with like what comes into my feed, what I experience, the conversations that I have, because I really kind of firmly believe that what one of us is experiencing, the majority of us is experiencing in some capacity. So I always feel very confident like putting options in the running for our topics that are like really applicable to my life, especially like what's happening that week. So I was getting a lot of feedback about make it easy, make it simple. Easier is better. Just, it doesn't have to be hard. It should be easy. And so I put that as a running. But you guys voted for that for like, I think it was like 12% on Instagram. Yeah. And so, all right. And so then on YouTube, how you guys voted was 0%. So this is why I had to make the executive decision of what we were going to talk about tonight, because there was a drastic split between what y'all voted up for on YouTube versus what y'all voted for on Instagram. So on YouTube, you guys voted 0% for how do you grow your belief in what is possible for your life. So that's why we didn't go with that one. And then you guys voted 44% on how to manifest new love with a dating plan. And then 33% on Lori Harvey case study, why sis is winning. And 22% as how to stop overthinking everything. So that was the breakdown. So tonight we're going to get into some dating topics. And you guys know the backbone of this channel at the beginning when it was first started was talking about dating. And I haven't talked about dating in months on this channel because you guys have been voting for the more metaphysical, more spiritual, more leveling up, more mindset videos, which you guys know I love talking about. I could always drop a gem when it comes to spiritual upliftment. I can always drop a gem when it comes to leveling up. You know, I could do that. Gems is heavy. Okay. But since we've been going pretty heavy the last few weeks, like not heavy, but just like a little bit more serious topics, because the vote was split this week, I said, all right, let's go back to our roots. Let's remember our roots. Let's remember where we came from. And let's talk a little bit about dating. Also, because that came up heavy in my week, this week. And also I am preparing myself to date as well. So, you know, the door had been closed for a long time, but now we're like, all right, let's see how we feeling. Let's see how we feeling. And so we're going to go out into the dating landscape a little bit differently than we had gone out before, because I feel like there is a new paradigm. You know, we're in a new timeline. We're in a new state. Everything is new. Everything is different now. And there's no going back to the old. So because everything is new and everything's different now, it requires a different strategy, okay? It requires a different energy. Okay. And the doll is coming with it with a different energy now. So I'm going to share a little bit of that with y'all. And of course, we learn from the collective wisdom of the It's KELLS community over here. So y'all gonna have to chime in the comments and let me know what you think too, because it ain't gonna be a one-way conversation. You need to let me know too. And also, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat too. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole collective. It's a whole collective thing. So yeah, just be vocal in the chat, and we'll make it do what it do. All right. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. Yes. Yeah, smash that like button for the consistency. Week 24. Okay. So how many minutes in? We are 15 minutes in. And we're getting love from Marjorie in the building, dropping gems in the chat. I love to see it. And then for our moderator extraordinaire, Anna is okay. Drop the gems. Heavy. Heavy gems. Moderator extraordinaire. Show our moderator Anna some love if you guys would. Okay. Oh, Marjorie's a moderator too. Okay. Not Marjorie stepping in the building and already a moderator. Okay, I must have been expecting her to show up. Okay, so first things first. Okay, so we're talking about dating, and so let me ground and let me just think a little bit about what I want to start with. And of course, I do have a few notes because I knew the voting on. I was like, okay, if it's going to be split, I'm going to go with YouTube this week because the last week I believe I went with what y'all wanted to talk about on Instagram. So I got to keep balance in the thing. My two babies, Instagram and YouTube. So sometimes we go with Instagram, sometimes we go with YouTube. So it's YouTube today. Okay, let me pull up what we're starting with. So, okay. So coming out of the pandemic, Marjorie's saying the universe knew I was ready for tonight. She's ready. Marjorie's ready. Okay. So coming out of the pandemic, I feel like some of us who have been single, who are like kind of thinking about, oh, should we step back into a relationship? Like, what are we doing now? Like, how is it feeling out here? Am I feeling like I could date somebody? Am I feeling like I could be with somebody? I feel like a lot of people are asking those questions of themselves, particularly right now because we are stepping into summer. It's a hot girl summer. So there is going to be some dating, some going around and some things like that. And so I feel like a lot of us are in the mindset right now of, let me prepare myself to engage with a potential, and I'll leave it right there, to engage with a potential. And so some of the things that I have been thinking about when it relates to dating is changing up my methodology or how I did it in the past. So in the past, I would be much more like, I don't care that much. And I feel like that worked for a while, but I'm like, I don't know if I like the results when I go into it with the energy of, I don't really care. So I said, all right, well, is it that I don't care or that I'm just not, or my timing is off? Because typically the more I care about something, the more I know my time is aligned with it. So if I was doing it before and I didn't care, it probably wasn't the time for me to be dating. But because everybody else is kind of trying to do that and move through those motions, you think you should be doing it too. So I think one of the first things is when you're preparing to date, when you getting your dating plan together, is understanding if your timing is aligned. How is the timing? How do you feel about it? Do you feel excited to date? Do you feel excited to bring a partner into your life? Do you feel excited to go on dates and go and get to know new people? Or are you feeling like, oh my God, what a chore. Like, oh, I'm not trying to meet nobody. And oh my God, I got to do this and do that and all of that. So I think that's the first thing that you have to notice about yourself and I always kind of start with this, like self-reflection. Yeah. And so, my first thing is like, how do I really feel about this situation? Am I feeling good? Am I feeling excited? Am I feeling enthusiastic? Or am I feeling like, damn, this is a chore? Because how you feel about what you're about to undertake will tell you the results that you're going to get right off the bat. Right off the MF bat. Right off the bat. If you're feeling miserable about it, please believe that you're going to have miserable results. There's no way to get great results from a miserable energy. There is no way to get good results from a miserable energy. If you are miserable going into it, if you are unhappy, if you are uncomfortable, if you think it's a chore, if you're annoyed by it, believe it's going to be annoying. It's going to be miserable. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be all the things that you bring into the energy of it. So you have to be hyper aware of if you're ready. Not because them people said and this timeline said and those movies said and that TV said and them girls said and my parents said, my family's asking me. None of that. How you feel. How do you feel about it? Are you ready? Do you feel like, yes, I'm ready? Or, no, I'm straight. I'm good. I'm working on something else. Be aware. That's number one. What y'all saying in the comments? All right. Franklin is saying, why are women and men in competition with each other when it comes to understanding each other's other roles to move relationship forward toward marriage? Child, that's because some people be up running there because most people are confused. And those who are confused are easily led astray. Those who are not clear and decisive are easily led astray. So the majority of us, the majority of the people are confused and are easily led astray by these talking heads on the internet who are talking foolishness. And all the confused people will just follow who is talking the foolishness that resonates the most with them. I'm included in one of these talking heads on the internet talking foolishness. Now you guys have to be the judge. You have to let me, you don't have to let me know nothing. You just have to know within yourself whether or not what I'm saying resonates with you or if it doesn't. But just know that, most people are very confused, and that's why there's like so much competition and craziness, because we don't know the roles. And not only do we not know the roles, if we knew the roles, it would be easier, but also you have to let go of ego and always wanting to be right. Sometimes it's more important to be happy than to be right. And majority of times in relationships, people are more concerned about being right than they are about being happy. Y'all know my mantra for the week. Make it simple, make it easy. You see, make it simple, easy is better. That's my mantra. So a part of that is knowing what to pick your battles. And I don't think people be knowing how to pick their battles. They be confused. So back to what we were talking about, okay? And we are talking about timing. Know your own timing first and foremost when you're talking about getting back into the dating game, coming into the game with a dating plan, not out here willy-nilly in the streets, not knowing what you're doing. All right. So that's number one. The second thing is, all right, so your timing is good. You're feeling good about it. You're not in a miserable state. Yeah, this should be good because I'm going into it with a good energy. We good, okay? Then we go in. Oh, I'm scooching over. Hold on, let me scooch over. Lord, sometimes just to get centered on a doggone thing is so challenging. Okay. Yeah, I see it. You guys know I have a feed over here so I can see it. So, all right. So the second thing then would be your love list or your love plan. Now, this sounds like it's that thing that everybody talks about, where it says, oh, write down everything you want in a mate. 6'2", rich, cute, college educated, good job, nice car, nice house. If you're thinking that's what I'm talking about when a love list, that's not exactly what we're talking about. That's not exactly what we're talking about. It's similar, but it's not exactly what we're talking about. A love list is writing down what you want in a relationship and being very clear about that. And you guys know how I feel about writing things down. When you really want to manifest something, when you really want to bring something from the idea into the physical, if you write it down in your journal or on your vision board, it is far more likely for it to actually manifest and for you to have clarity about what you want. Because that clarity and that decision brings in manifestations quickly. Once you are clear and decisive and certain about what you want, that thing be manifesting, okay? So, love list, write down what you want. You can write down the superficial things if you want to, but how I pivoted, how I changed what I was thinking about in terms of a love list was I actually thought about the characteristics that I've seen in people that I've been dating in the past, because child, I haven't been dating that soul. So in the past, um, characteristics that I see on television, people, characteristics that I see in platonic relationships, characteristics that I see in friends that I would really want in a partner. So it's not superficial things, it's like actual characteristics that I hadn't been thinking about before. For instance, in my experience, I had always been I always this is a really interesting story. A friend of mine mentioned this to me. In my experience, I always had around me men that were very emotionally available and emotionally attuned. So they could express their emotions they could feel emotions and they could express their emotions. It was always clear kind of how they were feeling. They knew how to articulate that. They could connect with you on emotions. So on my love list, like say in the past, if I had written one, I would never have added that to the list. I would have added what I didn't really see, which was like somebody financially well off. So my list would have been all the things that I didn't have, that I wanted, as opposed to making the full picture. I hope that makes sense. So when I said it to a friend, she's like, "Well, what are you looking for?" And I mentioned, "Oh, I want, okay, maybe somebody financially secure, this, that, and this." And she said, "Oh, so what about emotionally, emotional intelligence?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, 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 definitely that." And she was like, "Oh, you didn't mention it." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's kind of okay, oh, I kind of forgot because I always had that." And she says, "Well, I had the opposite." She always had men around her that are partners, like fathers and stuff like that, around her that were financially well off and secure and could provide and protect for a household, but they were not emotionally intelligent and emotionally attuned or anything like that. And I was like, "Oh, yo, I feel like I had the opposite." So it's looking at the love list and what you desire in a partner in a way more mature and a way more detailed way than you may have been looking at it in the past. And not only looking at it about the things that you want that maybe you didn't really ever see, also looking at the things that you always had that potentially you may be taking for granted. Clink, 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 clink. Cheers. Okay. Does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. What we doing? What we going? What we doing? What we going? Y'all need to tell me. Is that making sense? And it's saying, what do you bring to it? I think a lot of people are looking for what they're going to get out of finding someone rather than what they are willing to bring to the relationship. Marjorie is saying the bringing to the table thing has become a crutch for people who aren't ready to compromise. They expect the partner to complete them in a superficial way. When you are in relationship, what's the different paradigm? We're going to talk paradigm here. You guys know I always bring a spiritual element to the things, okay? So we talk in relationships, but let's talk about the paradigm that we are in now. You may have noticed that your parents or your grandparents or older generations, the reason why they kind of got married was a couple of things. One, they would be shamed if they didn't get married. Two, were not financially stable enough to make it on their own, so they needed a partnership to make it happen. Three, one of them got pregnant and it was so much shame around being a single this or a single that they just ran and got married because, God forbid, you had sex. A lot of reasons having to do with a lot of reasons that by design made the individuals come to the table not as whole, full, mature individuals. You'll hear a lot of things about you complete me. My better half, my better half. The new paradigm now is you are two whole, complete people coming together to build out this relationship. It is different now. One of the main reasons why relationships are a little bit harder right now is because nobody actually, like, you're not going to starve if you don't have a partner. Now, some of y'all might Some of y'all might. But it is not a different thing. If you're single, yeah, there's still that shame, but it is not that catastrophic. You cannot buy a house, you cannot, buy a car, you cannot live, you can't rent an apartment without a man signing this document, or, two incomes or something like that. So, that changes the paradigm. Now, with the way inflation and all of that is looking right now, it is looking like the government is making it so people have to partner back up to be able to afford anything out here in these streets. But, technically the paradigm has shifted quite a bit, where you have more of an option to be a single person, and that the relationships that are well designed and well balanced are two whole individuals who have done their spiritual work, who have done their elevation, and have are coming together to walk that journey together. So that's a little bit different than how relationships were in the past, where it was more a little bit of a struggle love type thing. And I feel like that shift between how relationships used to be, where we used to be grown up in those families, right? So a lot of us would see a struggle love type of relationship, and we are in a completely different era because we're not willing to sign up for that struggle love. Do you notice that? Do you notice that a lot of people are like, I am not trying to have the relationship I see my parents have? Most people are like that. Now, some people, are like, no, my parents been married happily for 50 years, like da da da. I would love that. There are people like that, but my vast majority of people are like, that relationship marriage thing is looking a little bit iffy. You know what I mean? And that is because the way it was designed and the system in which the relationship came together was different than what it is now. The majority of us are self-sufficient and can do this. They don't, you're not going to starve if you don't have a partner. So your incentives and your motivations for being in a relationship are totally different. You know what I mean? Totally different. Yeah. Marjorie showing me love here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is it making sense, or y'all got a different opinion? By all means, share. Ferd, good night. It's 1 a.m. 1 almost 2 a.m. in South Africa. Ferd, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Frank is saying that's right. There are men who handle their business and able to cook their own health meals and don't mind a woman cooking for them. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so the love list. Love list. So that was when I was sharing with you guys, like, one of the things that I realized that, that wasn't on my love list, because I always had that and I kind of was taking that for granted. But let me make sure that's on my love list now, is this emotional intelligence that the men around me always had. So I kind of took it for granted. So it kind of forces you to take a step back and really evaluate what you like in a partner, and what really feels good to you. Right? Okay. And then I have a lot of, okay, so the other things that are on the love list have a lot to do with lifestyle and making sure our lifestyles are congruent, or like aligned, or like jive with one another. And then a lot of it has to do about mindset on the love list, which a lot of this was not on my list previously. So it's a lot about alignment of mindsets and lifestyles, and purpose driven, a sense of purpose, good mental health, emotional maturity, financially savvy, you know what I mean, lighthearted, those types of things that really describe characteristics. So that's one of the things, is like, get what you want down on paper is been a pretty good practice. And one that I, in what I'm hearing is thought, like, people think it's a good practice to do when you're getting back out in these dating streets. Okay. So another thing is a love plan. So this one is a little bit interesting. I think the only thing that I'll say this is, like, you can look at it this way, that you can look back at certain things you did in dating in the past, and, like, write down what you liked and what you didn't like, so that when you're moving into dating again, you don't get caught off guard. So for instance, if I Like if I notice that I never like when a guy, um let me see what example I could. Oh, okay. So maybe let me give an example. So if I think back and I said, oh, let me think about like how my dating has went in the past when previously I was dating, and what do I want to change about this new way. So if I was, thinking back, I said, gosh, I really don't like when a guy like asks you on a date and then takes you to a crappy, or like wants you to meet them at a crappy location or like a mediocre location, and you're like, oh, it's convenient, yeah, that's fine, let's do it, because it always turns out like shit. So it's like looking back at what you were accepting before, or what you want to do before, what you thought was okay before, and realizing that it never worked out when you did it that way. And then making a decision that, oh, okay, I don't like that. I don't like when the dates are at a mediocre, crappy location, because I thought I was being like accommodating, but it always turns to shit. So actually, what I like is this. So this is the standard that we're going to go for moving forward. Not going to accept any, not available for mediocre date. So it's just making, like, looking back at how things played out before and making some certain decisions about how the first date should go, or where you kind of want to go, where you don't want to go, where you're not going to go to. And instead of getting in a situation where somebody asks you out and they say, oh, you want to go to McDonald's, and you're like, yeah, knowing doggone well you don't want to go to McDonald's, you know what I mean? So having a plan ahead of time will help you with those kind of decisions. And really, it's just about so that you can have more fun in the process. Because really, the whole thing about dating is having fun. Having fun. Having fun is your worry. The outcome is God's worry. That's God. That's God's arrangements. That's not yours. Your job is to have fun and to make sure the person aligns to what you have on your love list, and go from there. Yeah. And so if I don't have fun at those crappy places, then don't go. Then be like, oh no, I'm not available there, but you know, you know, figure out a way to say no, I don't like that someplace else, kind of thing. So, and not be afraid of that. Not be afraid to like know what you like and what you don't like, and what you're available for and what you're not available for. Okay. Also, another thing that I wrote down was like paying attention to how you feel in the presence of somebody else. So, you guys know I'm big on intuition. Big on intuition. And there's a lot of times that you're around people and that you're like, there's nothing really wrong with them. They're okay. Or, or it's not, it doesn't even have to be a date. It could just be a new friend. It could be a new event. It could be whatever. But your intuition is kind of telling you that it's meh, but you're second guessing yourself. So I have written down here on this list, like, as I start dating, pay attention to how I'm feeling and take that into consideration. Because every time in the past I've ever done that, where I'm like, oh, it's all right. Not good. So say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to do that to myself anymore. I'm not going to betray myself in that way anymore. If I'm in the presence of somebody and I realize that my intuition is kind of like, meh, it's a meh and it's not it. So keep going, right? It keeps going. The only thing that comes of caution with that, the only thing that comes with caution in that is sometimes if you haven't been doing the work and you're not fully healed, the people that feel boring to you are the ones that are stable, stable, good candidates. And the ones that are exciting to you are the ones that are mirroring your wounds back to you, or mirroring your traumas back to you. So you have to be very aware that why you're feeling chemistry with a person. Are you feeling chemistry with that person because they actually remind you of your toxic dad? Are you feeling chemistry with that person because they actually trigger the same parts in your mind and your heart as your toxic mom? You know what I mean? Or something like that. And so it's a lot about knowing yourself as you're dating and realizing, oh, I have chemistry with that person because they slightly remind me of, it's a familiar discomfort. It's a familiar discomfort. I'm used to feeling uncomfortable in that way. And sometimes the familiar starts to feel good, even though it's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And so as you're elevating in your spirituality, as you're leveling up, period, you start to recognize the patterns in what you're dating. So if you write it down, if you have a plan, you can look out for that when you get into the dating scene. So instead of being out there like not remembering, being caught up in the excitement, not remembering that, oh shoot, I'm usually, when I go on a date one time with somebody, I'm usually excited by the ones that are toxic. So, if you don't write it down beforehand, you will not remember in the meaning, in the moment. You'll just be out here in the streets like, oh, I met somebody. Yes. Whole time they toxic. Whole time they reminding you of your toxic people then. Whole time they're mirroring your traumas back to you. So it's a familiar discomfort. So that's the point of having like a plan and some kind of like bullet points written down of what to look out for before you step back into the dating game. You know what I mean? So you know what you're looking for. You know what feels good to you. You've remembered you've made some decisions about like what you're available for, what you're not available for. You feel excited about it. Your timing feels good. Those types of things, right? So that's the point of all of this. Now, if you're not here, you don't want to do all this work, then by all means, go out in these streets willy-nilly and, just see what the results are, at the end of a certain period and see how you feel about doing that. But if you're more like, oh, I did that before, I didn't really reap any fruit. So let me change up what I'm doing. And that's kind of where we are right now. It's like, oh, this is what the girls are doing that are serious about this. Also, this is probably like more of a strategy for people who are actually looking to be in a relationship and to be married. Not people who don't give a damn and they're just dating and they don't really care. That's like a different energy completely. But if you're like, no, I don't want to be dating forever. Like I actually want to be married, or I actually want to find like a good partner that's good for me. This is more of the approach that the girls say works. Okay. All right. Marjorie said, in our age group, I think men should know what they can't take, that they can't take a first date to Arby's. They try to do whatever they feel like you'll accept. And the thing is, sometimes you're not even realizing that that's what you're accepting. You're just thinking, oh my God, yeah, that's close to my house. Cool. I'm good. I don't want to drive all the way in town. Not realizing that it's like, oh, the precedent is set that I eat Arby's on a first date. You know what I mean? So sometimes you have to, that's why it's like, oh, let me write this down. Remember not to eat Arby's on first date, even though you like it, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So, some of these conversations are not necessarily ones that you have in the presence of men because they ain't gonna understand it anyway. But, the girls will understand what we're talking about there and what ultimately what the relationship looks like when you start doing stuff like accepting Arby's for a first damn date. So, okay, so we talked about timing. We talked about love lists and kind of having like a little bit of a love list that's not superficial, but one that really is looking at the characteristics and the green lights that you see for dating. We always talk about or green flags. We always talk about red flags. Like, what are your red flags? But better than red flags, what are your green flags? Does he have a purpose? You know what I mean? Is he emotionally mature? Is he financially stable? How do you feel in the presence of him? Like, do you feel confident and comfortable, or are you twinging and quinging and, uncomfortable and like, feeling all that feelings that you be feeling sometimes, but you say, oh, maybe not, maybe this, how are you feeling about it? You know what I mean? What are the green lights? Does he have good mental health? Is he in therapy? Seeing as how all of us need therapy. You know what I mean? Those types of things that really tell you the character of the person and if they're doing the work to be on that, to be on the level that maybe you feel you are. And of course, these things change based on where you are in your journey. So, okay. So the other thing now is rotational dating. So this is the topic that I've been hearing the people been talking about. They use the term rotational dating. But I used to say it years ago before I even was paying attention to anything, before I even had a YouTube channel. I would say my basketball team, 5, period. No less than 5 on the roster. I need a starter. I got a starting the Michael Jordan or the LeBron. I got a LeBron. And then you got, D Wade, you got Bosh, you got all you got the supporting cast and stuff like that. But you need to be rotational dating, or you need to have your basketball team. You need to have your squad. That's how I used to talk about it in the past life. Now I'm hearing them use the term rotational dating. You are not dating one person at a time. You have a bunch of people that you are going out with, having fun, getting to know. One thing clear, because y'all always ask this question, and I notice people be asking this question and be confused about this. When you're dating, that does not mean you're sleeping. Y'all be so pressed for sex half the time. I'll be like, what do you got? When you're dating somebody, you're not sleeping with them. I said this on my sugar daddy video. I was like, y'all really think that these girls be having sugar daddies and be sleeping with them? Now, if you're doing that, you're doing it wrong, sis, and you're effing up the game. Same thing applies here. When you are dating, you are not sleeping with anyone. Now, you want to sleep with somebody, you want to sleep with one of them, you want to sleep with two of them, you want to sleep with 10 of them. Look, nobody is, watch your poems. Jamaica, they would say watch your poems. Nobody's watching your poems, okay? You can do whatever you want. But just know that the savvy are not sleeping with anybody. So just know that until they feel like doing that. Not like, I'm obligated to sleep with everyone because they took me on 2.5 dates. So now I have to sleep with all 5? No, sis. You don't. No, sis. In fact, quiet as it's kept, celibacy gets you more than sleeping with anybody. But, you know, that's up to you and your poems, you know? So rotational dating. So you have the squad, you know, you have a few people that you're going out with, you're getting to know. And if you, here's where it gets to the juicy part that I was like, oh, this is how the girls is doing it. The ones who are serious. You cut out that I'm your girlfriend thing. Like, they say that there's no real value in being anybody's girlfriend exclusively if you actually desire marriage. What they say is that you're rotationally dating, and you get the roster to the place where you like who's on the roster, and whoever come with the ring first is the ones that you entertain or whatever. And so I was like, so y'all don't be girlfriends and stuff. And it's like, no girlfriend. That's a waste of time. You're not nobody. By the time, you know, maybe when you're 20, 25, you might do that BS. But by the time you in your 30s, and if you desire marriage, then it's a no. You're not anybody's girlfriend. You're still dating until the one who is serious, who's met your requirements in terms of like your green flags, in terms of your love list, until that person comes along, you're like, yes. And you're clear and upfront about the desire for marriage. Like, if you desire to be a girlfriend, then you're clear about that. But if you desire to be a wife, then you're clear about that. You know what I mean? And so you're clear about what you want upfront, not like, I shouldn't tell them that I want to be married. You know, isn't that going to scare them off? The hell it is. Good. Bye. If that's what you want, then let them go on. You know what I mean? So you're clear about what you want up front. And then, you know, you're saying, look, I desire marriage, so I'm not desiring to be anybody's girlfriend. I'm desiring to see like who's serious about this shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. This is what the people have been saying in practice. Like in reality, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know how it would really play out in practice. Like, I do know about the rotational dating, like having your basketball team, that I've seen in practice. But in terms of like narrowing it down and being like, I like one, the girlfriend thing, I can see like in the past, like I can see like when you're younger, you might be okay with that. But once you're older, you're like, look, I'm not trying to be nobody's girlfriend. And quiet as it's kept, that's probably why I'm like the way that I am, because it just doesn't seem appealing to me. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm all right. You know what I mean? Now, wife, with the standards of marriage that I'm looking for, seems appealing. But girlfriend, not so much. So you kind of again, it goes back to knowing what you want out of the situation. But the ones that say they want marriage, they don't be girlfriends. They don't claim that title. They think it's a nonsensical title. And they go from rotational dating to offers of marriage, and then they say who they're gonna marry, and then they plan a marriage and they marry. And this is typically, obviously, this is for somebody who's like older in their life. If you're 22, you know, then do what you want to do because you're a baby still, basically. Okay, so that's rotational dating. That's what the girls are saying. We talked a little bit about celibacy and not sleeping with these people. If that's if no watch your poems over here. So if that's what your thing is, but just know that the savvy, that's what they're doing. The ones that get the best outcome, that's what they're doing. You do whatever you want to do, though. And it depends on what your goals are, what you want. Yeah. All right. Let me jump in to the comments. All right. Let's see. Franklin says, yes, I agree. I was going to take a lady bowling on the first date and she was not interested because I didn't take her to a concert and dinner. I haven't been on a date in 5 years, so we stopped talking. Okay, so Franklin, let me tell you this. The first date is when you're trying to impress somebody. So while bowling and dinner is fun and it feels like, oh, you can show your personality, you have to pick your women well. So if you ain't picking the right women in the first place, this might not work. But the first date is when you're impressing somebody. So, sometimes perhaps you can ask them like, where, I want to impress you. Where do you want to go? If you don't know, women kind of have a tendency to like for men to know like how to impress them. So it might be like, you know what, I'm going to take you to this really nice restaurant, but you have to be in that mindset of, I'm not, I love today. I love, I'm happy to meet new people. Like I'm having a good time and those types of things. But the reality is that the first date is like, you're wanting to impress somebody. So I don't know how to get around that. Now, that depends on the caliber of woman you want. Now, if you want like basic Becky and she's okay going to Arby's, then by all means take her to Arby's. But if you like a higher if you like a woman with some higher standards, then just know that and be in that game. You know what I mean? Like don't try to take somebody with high standards and then be mad at them because they don't want to take Arby's. You know what I mean? So just know, like, okay, if I'm only willing to do Arby's, then get an Arby's woman. Approach an Arby's woman. If you're like, actually, I want to go to the 27th floor and do the rotating restaurant. Actually, I want to do that. So let me find a woman that I would love to share that experience with. Then you do that. So you got to know what you're willing to do and what makes your boat float. You know what I mean? And so that, again, even on the men's side of things, it's going internal, like figuring out like what you trying to do. You know what I mean? What makes your boat float? Luvons is saying, and chivalry is alive and well. Is it though? Chivalry is alive and well. And I'm saying honesty is always key. Not NMB in the building. We got some NMB people in the building. You know what I mean? Honesty, all cards on the table. If you're 22, get it in, sis. Make it do what it do, sis. You all right. Him too. Guys too. You're 22, you do what you want. But you 32, 42, 52, 62, 72, you don't have the time. You don't have the time. This mortgage, the way this mortgage is set up, you don't have the time to just be getting it in. You already know what you want. You've already been through the relationships. You've already been a girlfriend probably a time or two, or been a boyfriend a time or two, and no longer interested in it, and really is looking for like, look, I'm looking for marriage. So, don't even waste your time. And not only am I looking for marriage, I'm looking for this type of marriage where you know your role and I know my role. And not only do you know your role, you know my role so well that you're excited because you know the value of my role. And likewise, two whole people come into the table, two whole people who are more interested in being happy and having fun and it being easy than being right, than being confused about the roles and trying to be right and trying to fight and argue with one another. And two people who realize that two together, being in a relationship and being in a couple that people everyone is happy and clear about what they bring to the table. I don't even like that terminology. Happy, what they are, how the balance that they occupy in the relationship, the yin and the yang that they occupy in the relationship. Ain't no bringing nothing to the table. Well, that's old paradigm. There's bringing nothing to the table. No, it's like, this is my essence, this is your essence, and this is how the relationship is gonna pop. You know what I mean? And so 22, you can do whatever you want. Okay. Be selective on the car that park in your garage. Okay. Katie said, be selective on the car that park in your garage. How do you be selective? What are you looking for? We talked about that at the top of the broadcast. We were talking about the dating plan. We were talking about the green flags. We were talking about, the sense of purpose, somebody who has a sense of purpose. You know what I mean? We were talking about good mental health. We were talking about financially secure, you know what I mean? Enough to pay their mortgage and pay everything. You know what I mean? We're talking about emotional maturity. We're talking about somebody who has done the work, who has gone to therapy, and they're not looking for their partner to be their emotional sponge, but looking for somebody to have a fun life with, to be secure, you know what I mean? To be in that provider and protector or that feminine energy with. You know what I mean? Okay. So that's what we're talking about there. So here goes another, you know what I mean? Anna's saying here, let me see what Anna's saying. Can you bring this person to your friends and family, i.e. your life? How your lifestyles? Are your lifestyles like, do they make sense? And how you know that is so how would you know if you're trying to date, you're getting to dating, you're doing dating plan. How do you know if somebody's lifestyle will match with yours? You have to write down your own lifestyles. The things that you like, how you like to operate. Are you a spender or are you a saver? Are you, do you like to stay home or do you like to go out? Do you like to live in the city or do you like to live in the sticks? What is it that you like? Don't worry about, they say that it's hard to find a partner in the country. So even though I like to live in the country, I'll say I'll live in the city. No, you get clear on what you like, what makes your heart skip a beat, what feels good to you. And then once you're clear on that, that's when the manifestation comes in. That's when the partner that aligns to what you like, what you've decided that you like, that's when they come in. Short term, long, it might be a short period or a long period, whatever. But you have to get clear on what you want. You have to decide. And once you decide, if you write it down, that comes in quicker. Yeah. The other thing, okay, so we talked about timing, we talked about no girlfriend, we talked about love list and dating plan, we talked about rotational dating, celibacy, watch your poems, clarity on what you want, and what else? Oh, I have my list here. What else are they talking about? Yeah, those are the main things. Those were the main things that the girls are talking about when it comes to if you're wanting to date purposefully, like for to be married, you know what I mean? Not just to be somebody's girlfriend for 10 years and then never get married. Okay? Yeah. All right. So then, okay. So let me see what the comments are looking like. What do you like, KELLS? That's a good question, Keith. I got a whole list right here. Did you catch that? I got my green lights. I got my plan and my intention. I got my keywords. I got the love list. I'll tell you what the first thing on the love list is. Loves and adores Black women, Caribbean women like me. I don't want no man that secretly loathes Black women. Okay? So when you watching a lot of these people online talk about dating and all of that, but you get the sense that they don't really fuck with Black women like that. That they don't really like their own mama like that. That. Also, that's not just relating to Black men. That's just period. So if you white, if you Middle Eastern, if you Asian, but you love Black women, Caribbean women like me, that's the number one thing on the love list. You actually love women. You don't spite women. You don't secretly want to be a bad bitch. You like to marry one. You don't want to be one. You like to marry one. That's the number one thing on the list. Now, green lights, the number one thing on my green light list is a sense of purpose. Somebody who is a man who is purposeful, has a sense of purpose, knows what he wants to do in his life, what he wants to accomplish, and what kind of relationship and woman he is looking for that would fit nicely into that lifestyle. That's the number one thing. The number two thing is praise for God's grace and guidance. I didn't say go to church. I didn't say light candles. I didn't say none of that. I said they pray for God's grace and guidance. That's number two. And then we go into financially savvy. We go into, and buoyant. I use the word buoyant. I just like that word. Buoyant. Money just run like the rivers. I like it. Emotionally, we talk about passionate. We talk about, all of those things. Clear and decisive. Provider, protector. Fertile and abundant. Resilient. Desires to be married. Desires to be a father. Desires to be a provider and a protector for his family and his household. Likes to cook and is a great chef. Okay? That's some of them. It's a long list though. It's a long, you see me on 50. I don't know if you can probably see the thumb is going. Anyway. And then I have some like other things that I'm hearing people talk about and say, and I was like, oh, I like that. Let me write that down just so I can think about that a little bit more. So that's kind of like the more planning and the intention part at the top. Okay. One of the things that came up a lot that I thought women need to be aware of is that the chemistry might be reciprocal wounds. So the boring one might be the one. That was one of the most, so take notice. That was one of the most interesting pieces, is that realizing that you have to know your own wounds and you have to have done your own work. But one of the things that they talk about a lot is that chemistry, that one that, oh, I really like them, might be reciprocal wounds. And the one that is this stable, calm, peaceful one seems boring, but if you are to get married with them and build a life with them, that is what you're going to grow into, as opposed to the one that has the chemistry and the sexiness and all of this is the one whose life is like up and down, up and down, up and down, and you're going to be in a damn up and down, up and down, up and down life. At the beginning, it's like, oh, fun, sexy chemistry. And if you marry it, it's a damn roller coaster for the rest of your life into your old age. And do you really want that? So you have to be aware of, when you feel that chemistry, where is it coming from truly? I thought that was like one of the most interesting things that I kind of heard in my research. So it requires a lot of self-awareness. And you guys know that's one of the big things on this channel, self-awareness. Yeah. Okay. All right. What other interesting things? Okay, so you guys give me your advice in the chat. I would love to hear your advice. I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know what you guys think, what's working for y'all, what's not working, all of that. And then, okay, so we're almost done, but let me talk about a little bit about topic number 2, which was why Lori Harvey is winning. Lori Harvey case study, why cis is winning. Let me tell you. Hold on. Oh, wait, Marjorie has a good one. Come on, Marjorie, married woman with the tips. She says some things can be negotiable. He might not be a great cook, but makes great sandwiches or reservations. Exactly. I love it. I love that. You know what I mean? I love that. So again, it's the awareness. It's like, okay, yes, okay, I can't cook, but it's not going to be a problem that we have reservations all the time. Or it's not going to be a problem that we want a chef on the weekends to come, or we want a chef the whole week. Maybe we want that. You know what I mean? Do we want a nanny? Can we get a nanny? Can we get a chef? Maybe that's what the trade-off is. You know what I mean? It don't always have to be a modest trade-off, to be honest with you. What if it's a level up trade-off? When it's okay, fine, you can't cook, but the chef can. Come on, chef. come on reservations. You know what I mean? And something like that. Come on, sandwiches. I don't do sandwiches every day. All right. But, you know, I love that, Mayu. I love that. Lufons is over here cracking up. And I said, "Hello, Mayu, he somehow meets the goal of getting me good food. Period. Belly full. What's the problem? The solution driven. Hold on. That's gonna go. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me pull up a love list. Hold on. Wait a minute. Solution driven. Hold on. Should that go on the top or the bottom of the list? We'll put it on the bottom for now. Solution driven. Creative. Yes. Creative in how he solves. Do I want to use the word problems? I'm being mindful of the word that I use. How he solutions. Yes. Solution driven, creative in how he solutions. Is that redundant? It doesn't matter. It's my personal list. Okay. I like that. The problem is solved. I don't have to worry about it. I think one of the reasons why that even came on my list, because if I tell you how tired I am of figuring out what to eat every day, I'm sitting here hungry right now because I didn't figure out earlier what I wanted to eat. So who gonna figure that out every single day for entire family? Who finna do that? Alone. Gotta be some balance, some juggling and stuff like that. Like, look, we be sitting here starving, hungry if it was up to me. So that's why it's on the list. So I love that Maya was like, ooh, solutions oriented. Yes. You know what I mean? Like creative in how they solve solutions. Yes. So, okay, negotiable. I like this. I like that. Yes. Solutions. I like that. You know what I mean? I really, really like that. Keith is over here talking about waffles, shrimp, omelets, and grits. That sounds like a stomach ache waiting to happen, Keith. That's a stomach ache waiting to happen. Okay. So that's the first part. Okay, let's get into this little bit. And in case you're wondering, we looking shots in the chat. Okay, it's Jamaican over here. If you're wondering, you may not be wondering, but just in case you was, it's Jamaican islands over here. Okay. Keith asking me, "Are you Caribbean?" Yes, I am. I'm American, but the blood is Caribbean. Okay, so Lori Harvey, here's the deal. This is why everybody's pressed about Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan breaking up. Y'all are not used to women being on an even playing level with men. Y'all really have this narrative going that women age out and women hit a wall and women better hurry up and find a man. And when a woman is playing the game, playing the field, you know, saying you're not good enough, or you know what, I can still be out here dating, or I'm still rotational dating, I would like to see some other people. For a man that seems like such a good catch, y'all is pressed. Y'all is upset. She's a thought. She's for these streets. Who told you this girl was sleeping with any one of these dudes? She might not get the pumps to any one of them. Maybe one or two of them might have got the pumps. But please don't believe that she was with Michael B. Jordan for a year. So maybe, you know what I mean? Yeah, maybe. But what if she said, I'm waiting for marriage? The girl's 25. You know what I mean? So you don't know who getting the pooms, who not getting the pooms. She takes sexy pictures, so does everybody else. You know what I mean? Gorgeous girl. But y'all are pressed because she really is out here leveling the playing field and playing the field how men usually play the field. She is the actual prize, and she will call off. Can you imagine what's going on is like, what's going on is everybody saying, oh, he wanted to be married. He's 35, she's 25. That is a good age range. Another thing that the girls online are saying is that you should be dating somebody 5 to 7 years your senior minimum if you want, because they were basically the conversation is around the spiritual age of people, the maturity age of people. And so if you're wanting somebody who is equal to you as a woman spiritually and mentally, then it's somebody a little bit older than you. And so him being 35 and her being 25, that's like an equally yoked relationship. But he was ready. This is what they're saying. We don't know what the reality is. Quiet as it's kept, I kind of think they found out they were cousins. I don't know why I think that. I don't know why I think that, but in my head I said, oh, they found out they were cousins. so they broke up, but that's just me being stupid. But they're 10 years apart, so that's a good age for them to be married. And supposedly they were saying that he was ready for marriage and she still wanted to rotational date. She still wanted to be in the streets. What's the problem? Y'all so used to women running down marriage like it's their last breath of fresh air, that when you see a woman saying, I'm good, when you see a baddie who is well taken care of, who don't have to work another day in her life, who's beautiful, you know what I mean, who got things going for her, when you see her saying, I'm good off of you, what they say is a top-notch catch. Y'all shook. Oh my God, and she and this and this and this. Look, this is how it's gonna be moving forward, and y'all need to know that. These women's out here is not gonna be real pressed as they were in the past. And I think that's what the whole level up movement is about. Like, you have the option to rotational date, you have the option to be available or not be available to men, regardless of what people think they look like on paper or from the outside. You know what I mean? And that is what Lori is displaying to the world, and people are uncomfortable. And not only men, women are uncomfortable by it too, because you've never seen anybody move in the way that she moves. She moves as a high standard woman. She don't move like Kim Kardashian, who will chase after anybody who, oh my God, if I'm not under some man's arm, then who am I? Even though I'm a billionaire and I've done so much this and I've worked my effing ass off and done all of this, if I'm not under the arm of some man, who am I? Lori Harvey's not like that. And that's why the girls are shook. Lori Harvey is like, I could take or leave you. Just because everybody else think that Michael B. Jordan is such a catch, she was in the relationship. Is she really? Here's the thing. Oh, Lord, the narrative, we don't even know if this is the true narrative. We don't even know that this is a true narrative. But what they're saying is that she wasn't ready for marriage. If she liked him, if he was marriage material, she would be married. She would be ready for marriage. So if somebody tells you, it's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's me. Bitch, it's you. They don't like you that much. She's just not into you, bro. She's just not into you, bro. So I don't know. Y'all need to watch, Lori Harvey's moves. Now, here's my prediction. Here's my predictions. Katie says, City Girls up. Katie says, City Girls up. Marky D, or whatever the dude said, is look at Marjorie Lake. Marjorie, have you been under a rock? She broke up with him. Girl, they're not together no more. People broke that news about a week ago, sis. Where you been? Marjorie, turn off NPR and turn on TMZ sometimes. Dang. What is going on? You ain't know they was broken up. They've been broke up for a whole week, sis. Everybody's in a frenzy. Marjorie. Turn off the news and watch some gossip sometime, girl. Yeah, for some reason I was like, oh, they found out they were cousins. It might be a Jamaican thing. It might be a small island thing where, two people that are together that you think would work, and they break up and they say, oh, irreconcilable differences. Like we still love each other, but we're going separate ways. Is that they found out that they were blood. They found out that they were cousins. And that happened recently on the celebrity social media stage. Two people broke up that everyone thought they were good, and they found that she came out later that they found out they were cousins. So that's not far-fetched for small island people. All right, yeah, Marky Katie saying City Girls, but they say Lori is a star girl. Lori says she's not a city girl, she a star girl, but her and JT got a good relationship. So Marjorie was saying fourth cousins. They are not cousins. That's just my theory. Look at me starting rumors. That's just my theory. They are not cousins. They've not said that, but in my head, that was the first thing that popped in when I heard they broke up. So don't worry about that. Marjorie's saying she's 25, still figuring herself out, probably not trying to worry about having kids. He's probably looking to have kids right now. She needs to live her life. Sure do. She's not pressed about marriage at this point. And I kind of feel like even if she really liked him, Marjorie, there are plenty of people that get married and don't have children immediately. So if the issue was he wanted to get married and have children and all of that. If she really liked him, you mean to tell me that that negotiation tactic that we talked about a little bit about making reservations versus knowing how to cook, that whole negotiation couldn't have been worked out? Okay, babes, yes, I love you. Let's get married, but I don't want kids until for 5 years. I'll be 30 then. We're straight. We can do whatever in vitro, whatever we need to do. She'll be fine by 30. They make it seem like you can't have kids if you don't have them at 21, but she'll be fine. You know what I mean? So she could have negotiated if she really liked him. I really feel like it was it's me, not you situation. She was really fucking with him like that. She would have stayed. That's what I'm just feeling. That's what I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Anna says she's not into you, but I am. Michael B. Jordan, call me. I'm sitting here and going, I'm gonna take this off the screen real quick because I don't want to get nobody in trouble. Okay, so Katie said the reality is her career is now in drive and she's not going to slow down, especially with the opportunities knocking at her door. She don't want to be married. Maybe she has a perception of married being that you have to pivot your attention from what you're doing wholly to your family and your relationship. And she's not willing to do that right now. Marjorie Harvey is like that. Marjorie Harvey runs that empire. They have events. She's really an amazing homemaker. She makes the home exciting and warm and fun, and she puts a lot of energy into that. And so maybe Lori Harvey feels that that's the type of homemaker she would like to be, and is not interested in doing that right now in her prime time 25. Even for Michael B. Jordan. You know what I mean? She's letting the girls know that not always run down marriage like it's your last breath of fresh air. Sometimes live your life. You know what I mean? So, and all of that. You know what I mean? Tiny desk concert. What is going on here? What are y'all talking about? She says, no lie. I stay on NPR. Sure do. Tiny desk concert, LaVon is saying. Tiny desk. I don't know what y'all talking about, but we'll leave it at that. Okay? No lie, when I was 25, I was having all the fun. All the fun, sis. I had a rotation. Basketball players, not real basketball players, like a basketball rotation. Child, I was not thinking about nobody marriage. I was thinking about going overseas. I wanted to go get my master's in London. I wanted to travel overseas. I was living my life. You know what I mean? And such. I've been in conversation, and it's so different how everyone lives their lives differently. I've been in conversations recently where 24-year-olds are freezing their eggs. 24-year-old women are talking about, oh, I'm freezing my eggs. I'm like, 24? What are you freezing eggs for at 24? Like, you just got them eggs. Like, what is going on? You know what I mean? So it's just so different how people act differently based on, whatever their ideals. So again, knowing your ideals first and foremost, and, going from there. Luvan's saying there's absolutely nothing wrong with not being ready. She just wants to live a little. Keep it saying, I was driving KELLS. Now I can talk. Lord help us. Anyway, guys, we've been online. What's going on? We are, how many minutes in are we? We're over an hour in. We're about 1:18 on the clock from my end. And we kind of got into this, okay, dating plan, how you get back here in these streets, how you going to date, and, getting your love list, your timing together, celibacy or no celibacy, loveless or no loveless, rotational dating, girlfriend title or no girlfriend title. Do you desire marriage or do you desire dating? What is it that you actually desire? Being very clear on what you want. And not only what you want, but what you have and have been taking for granted, not realizing that it's a blessing, but you do have it and you have experienced it. So adding that to your love list as well. And out here looking at Lori Harvey, letting that girl live and realizing that, oh, that's what it looks like when a woman is actually dating with standards. Standards. She don't waste her time. Michael B. Jordan got a good year of that girl's life. She said, okay, that's enough. He's, I want to marry you. She's like, I I still want to be somebody's girlfriend. He's like, all right, well, if you don't marry me, I'm out. Bye. City girls up. Whatever she said, you know what I mean? And to be honest, we don't even know the reality of it. We don't even know what's going on with them. But I definitely firmly believe that observing from the outside, and obviously we don't know the truth, but observing from the outside, it's looking at a dynamic that we're not used to seeing. And it's looking at a woman dating with a certain level of standard that we are slightly uncomfortable with. You know what I mean? And so, anyway, I'm here for it. I'll be watching. Let me tell you my prediction. And we're going to close with this. Hold on. Marjorie's saying she would have become second to his light and to his shine. Yes, because that's old paradigm. That's old paradigm how relationships were. It's very difficult for, men to be second in their relationship. They end up doing stuff like cheating on Beyonce in the old paradigm. But we're hoping for something new in a new paradigm. Marjorie, Anna's co-signing Marjorie in the building. Marjorie says both partners need to state their intention by the third date. How about the first? How about out the gate? I am dating for marriage. So I'm not saying dating for marriage to you. I'm just talking about dating for marriage. I'm rotationally dating for marriage. And so, yeah, if you're not into that, then deselect yourself. How about that? First date. Out the gate. Cheers. Click, 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 click. Out the gate. Okay. When you're 22, you can do that play. When you're 25, you can do that play. After that, you better stay upfront what you want. I don't need any more friends. I have enough friends. I don't need no more friends. I don't even have time for the friends I have right now. Quiet as kept, I don't even be returning phone calls like that. So, to the friends I have right now. So, ain't no friends. Ain't no girlfriends, boyfriends. Look, we're dating for marriage. If we don't want marriage, then we'll set that intention at the beginning. Keith is over here talking about he can cook, but he can't let everybody know his culinary skills. Okay. Shoot your shot, Keith. Go ahead. Yeah, they say, don't cook and drive, Keith. Lori Harvey may want him to work a little harder. Look at that. Look at that, Michael B. You just thought you had it in the bag. You thought because you was an A- or A-list celebrity, you just had Lori in the bag. And Lori was like, circle back in 5 years when you're 40 and richer. And then we can think about it. We can think about it then. Lori said, work harder, boy. Bye. By the first date, very true, Marjorie. Before even putting a title on, look, no title, look, intentions up front, period. Okay. So my prediction for Lori Harvey's next move, and then we're going to wrap for the evening because, guys, I'm hungry. Okay. Why I feel like Lori Harvey finna pull up with a Middle Eastern billionaire. I just feel like she's going to pull up with a brown billionaire. I feel that in my soul. I feel like the next thing you're going to see Lori Harvey do is on the arms of some sheik or something in her long gown, with... If this come true, y'all come back, find this video and be like, oh, Kels, you said that. I feel like Lori Harvey can pull up with a whole billionaire from Dubai, Saudi Arabia, you know what I mean? Someplace in Africa, something like that. I feel like he's going to be a little Middle Eastern. He's good, giving a little olive skin toned. He's giving a little tall, dark, and handsome, but like brown. I feel like that's the direction she's going in. But we'll see. We'll see. The level up. With that, You guys know that I put all these videos in a playlist called Friday Night Kickbacks with Kel. You can catch up on all of our videos. You can catch up on all of our videos if you look at the playlist. Play them like a podcast. Put it on while you're cooking, while you're cleaning, while you're working out. Support the thing. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. It's a free and easy way to support the content. You guys know I appreciate y'all kicking it with me each and every Friday night, 7 p.m. This was week 24. Next week we are on to week 25. We drop our topic drop on Friday Eve, which is Thursday nights. You guys vote, and we get into things on Friday night. You know what I mean? Thursday the topic drop. Friday night we talk that talk. You know what I mean? We talking about that oil money. We talking about that oil money. I feel like that's what Lori's trying to go towards. I feel like that's the handkerchief Lori is dropping. You know what I mean? She letting us know. Huh? She's letting us know. We're getting love in the comments as we exit. And yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for being here. Have a good one. Marjorie's showing love in the building. Thank you guys. And we will see you next week. Bye, guys.